Hello and welcome to Pregnancy Flow. Today's theme is based on the traditional Chinese medicine elements of fire. Fire is connected to a few different organs energetically, but the one I'm going to focus on today is heart. So when we think of the element of fire, it's connected to summertime. So it's the peak in yang energy when we're out in the world and we're, socializing and we're expansive and, there's lots of heat. It's warm. We're having fun. We're really out there and energetic. And there's lots of stimulus and movement and joy and you're really connected to that inner spark, the passion that lives within you and what brings you passion. When this comes to be out of balance, then we can experience heartbreak, or we can stay stuck in this energy of high, like really peak yang all year round, and then completely burn out. The element of fire and connection to the heart is about connecting to that spark within that's always been there. No matter what's happened, what hurt we've endured, what pain we've suffered, and what protection we've perhaps layered upon our heart. And this practice is to bring you back into connection with your heart and what's true to you and true to your heart and what wants to flow from your heart. As I said about the protection, we can put walls up. But if we protect ourselves from pain, we also protect ourselves from joy. And in connection to baby, it can feel scary to have a baby growing inside of you because it's vulnerable and it's unknown. And in some ways, we can protect our hearts and stay away from our babies. Obviously not physically, but emotionally and energetically, it can be scary to really go towards your baby and connect with them, connect with their hearts and build true intimacy. But if we don't allow ourselves to open up to the possibility of pain, we also shut down the possibility of joy. I don't think there's anything else I want to say about the heart. So I'm going to invite you to close your eyes. And before I use the sound bowl, I want you to connect with your breath. And allow your exhale to really lengthen. Really let your breath leave your body. And at the end of the exhale, what happens is the heart gets a microsecond to rest up underneath the diaphragm. And it's in this sweet spot that the heart almost gets massaged with your breath. You can really let go. Begin now with the sound. Just simply allow your breath to lengthen. Feel your shoulders soften. Connecting to your inner child, all that play, all that joy, and that innate capacity to love, to receive love, to give love, before life, culture, conditioning took over. Returning back to that childlike innocence, unconditional love. am the divine light. I am the divine love. Becoming aware of your heart now. What do you sense around your heart? Does it feel open and wide? Does it feel a little closed off? And without attempting to fix or change anything, just simply become aware of your heart space and what's here. What wants to flow from your heart? What is it that you want to speak from your heart? And now draw your energy and your attention now to your baby's heart. To the unconditional love they have for you. The warmth, the joy, the deep longing to physically meet you and be in your arms. And let their love for you infuse your entire being. Can you receive it? Can you let it in? Can you soak up this pure, pure love? And then can you let your love flow from your heart to your baby? And let this infinite love flow between your hearts. All there is love. In the beginning, in the middle, at the end. It's all love. Allow yourself to connect with any emotions that might want to rise, any sensations. Simply allow yourself to stay in this beautiful, precious space filled with love. Taking a few final breaths here. And then gently opening your eyes. Okay, we're going to move into self-touch now, if that feels good for you. And if not, you can just leave this part out. And we're going to massage the heart meridian. The meridians in traditional Chinese medicine are particular lines and maps of the body connected energetically to the organs. So we're going to begin using the right hand and massage on the inner edge of the little finger, up the inner arm to the elbow, all the way up to the shoulder and into the chest, into the heart, and gently clockwise massaging your heart space. And then switching sides, taking the left hand, sweeping it down the right arm into the edge of the little finger, the inner edge, all the way back up, and gently massage the heart. Creating warmth, creating expansion, creating some heat. Really nice. Last time. Using both hands now, just gently opening the heart. Really well done. So we've connected with our breath, our baby, our body, our heart space. And we've massaged the heart meridian and the chest and the heart. And now we're going to move into modified yin for pregnancy. So with this part, we are just moving into a stretch, not very intense. So like 3, 4 out of 10 intensity. And not pushing into pain or discomfort. And the 3 poses are connected to the heart. So opening up the front of the heart and opening up the back of the heart. This part is all about softness, surrender, creating space, letting go. And then, kind of like a wave, we will move into a more intense part of the practice, which is based on Pilates, a movement which is more in a flow. We maybe will, feel like we're working a bit harder and we're moving a bit faster. So it goes from the modified yin to the peak intensity, and then we go back and we finish with a yin pose modified for pregnancy at the end. So I invite you now to come onto all fours. And bringing your hands directly underneath your shoulders and your knees directly underneath your hips, and allow your toes to soften. We're going to begin by taking the right hand forward. You'll want to take your knees a bit wider, feet together if you like. And then we fold the left forearm onto the mat and bring our forehead to our left forearm. And as we get down, we'll be able to slide that right hand further forwards. The idea with this is that you're pressing your hips to the ceiling and you're softening your chest towards the mat. Allowing your eyes to close if that feels good. And you should feel a stretch in your mid-back. Allowing your chest, your heart to melt towards the mat. Allowing your heart to open. Opening to connection, to intimacy, to love. Simply noticing your breath, noticing any sensations in your body. Your baby's relaxed in your womb space. Not pushing to pain, but just feeling that gentle stretch at the back and the openness and expansiveness at the front of your body. And then taking a couple of more breaths here. And then very gently coming back up. Before we move sides, we're going to very gently rock back and forwards. Really nice. We're going to switch sides now. So we're going to fold the right forearm onto the mat and bring your forehead to your right forearm, and then we're stretching the left hand away. Sinking the chest and the heart space down towards the mat, press your hips towards the ceiling. If that feels like it's too much pressure on your shoulder, you can release your elbow to the mat on the left side. Lovely, staying in this pose. And being with anything that rises. Connecting to any tastes in your mouth, any sounds in the space that you're in. The feeling of your hands on the mat, your knees, your feet, the clothes on your skin. Notice any emotions that are here. Allow them in. Welcome them in. Taking 2 final breaths. And then very gently release. And this time we're just going to sit back towards the heels and fold both forearms over and rest your forehead in the center. Coming into child's pose. So now you're feeling like the back of your heart is rounded. And allow yourself to really rest. To really sit back, to soften. To be with what is. And then taking a couple of final breaths here. And then gently rolling back up onto all fours. I'm just going to get my ball for this part. Okay, I've just spotted it. So coming onto all fours. We're going to take the ball into the right hand and then take the left foot out to the side in line with the right knee. Lovely. If you like, you might want to rest your left hand on a block or your fist. And as we sit back on our heel, we're going to roll the right ball away. So it looks a bit like this. Really nice. Really nice. Now taking the right hand to the mat, we're going to open with the left. So the ball comes into your left hand, and now you're opening the left hand to the ceiling. I might go out of your vision on the camera, but nothing else changes. Just taking the ball into the left hand, and opening the left hand to ceiling, gazing up into the ball. Really nice. Taking the knees onto the mat. And we'll just do a little figure of 8 before we switch sides. So sweeping back and then drawing that figure of 8 with the pelvis forwards, back and around. We'll do it 3 times, drawing that figure of 8 with the pelvis. Lovely. Now switching sides, we're going to take the right foot out to the side in line with the left knee. And then taking the right fist to the mat or onto a block. And then the ball is under the left hand. And then as we sit back on the left heel, you can tuck in your toes if you like. We roll the ball away. Really nice. Lovely. Taking the left hand to the mat, ball into the right hand now, and you can uncurl your left toes. And I'll show you a couple of those, but you're going to do 8. You're going to open now to the right and take the right hand up to the ceiling, gaze into the ball in the palm. Really nice. So keep going for 8 of those. Feeling that stretch in your mid-back. Really nice. Okay, we're going to sit on the ball now. So I'm going to sit back on it. So at home, if you don't have a ball like this, you can use like a burst football, or any kind of soft ball. And you're going to keep your feet a little bit wider than your knees. If that's not comfortable, cross your legs in front. If it doesn't work for you sitting on the floor like this, you can sit in a chair and just not use the ball, or sit in a bolster. We are going to bring our hands onto our body. So one hand onto the heart space, one hand onto the womb. And as you breathe in, simply softening the pelvis, all those muscles at the root of your body. Let them soften and open and relax onto the ball as you breathe in. And at the same time, allowing your heart to open, your tummy to soften. Or simply focusing on the inhale. Softness, expansiveness. Letting go. And on the exhale, just let the breath go. As you inhale, thinking about softening, feeling the pelvic muscles, the tailbone, all releasing and softening onto the ball in the in-breath, and then feeling at the same time your tummy, your baby, your heart opening up into your hands on the in-breath. Really nice. We're going to go over 3 more breaths. Really well done. So taking the ball out. And we're going to move into the more intense. Okay, so moving on to all fours. And for this part of the practice, you're going to need your block, your yoga block. We're going to begin by placing it under our right knee. And then keeping the left knee in line with the right knee and bringing your hands onto the mat. So from here, we're going to move into some rocks, pelvic rocks, which is really nice to mobilise the pelvic joints. So gently press the right knee into the block and then hover the left knee up in line with the right. And release. So we're going to add the breath with that. We're going to exhale to hover. Inhale to lower. So you play with the height of your yoga block. If it feels like it's too high, this is too much, you can do it with a cushion under your right knee or a block with less depth. And now we're going to hug baby. So we're going to exhale to hover and hug baby towards your spine. Inhale to lower. Really nice. Last 2. And last 1. Great. Just gently take your right knee off the block and placing it under the left knee now. Hands back to the mat into an all fours position. And when you're ready, gently hover the right knee to hip height and lower. And as you move through, starting to add the breath, exhale to hover, inhale to lower, and now you can hug baby to spine with this movement. So I suggest if you have pelvic pain or if this causes any irritation, start gentler and build it up. Okay, you can even start it without a block. And I'll just demonstrate what that would look like. You would just start it with the knee on the mat and just a gentle hover. Lovely. We're going to do 2 more repetitions. And then gently taking your knees back to the mat and coming back to all fours. We're going to take our soft ball now and place it in between our knees. And we're going to move into your cat-cow. So gently pressing your mid back to ceiling, bringing chin to chest, tucking in the tailbone. And then inhale to release, look up ahead. Exhale. We're going to add some, contraction with this. So as we round the spine, we're going to press the knees together. Exhale. And as we release the spine, we're going to soften the knees and inhale. Thinking about tucking your tailbone underneath your body. Pressing your heart, the back of your heart to the ceiling. Lovely. Last 2. And last 1. Really nice. We're going to keep the ball where it is, and we're going to gently rock our bodies side to side. So as you take your hips to the left, you're going to look over your left shoulder towards your left hip. And then switch sides, take your hips to the right, look over your shoulder to your right hip. So this is kind of like a dog wagging its tail. You're wagging your body, rocking your body side to side. So ear to left shoulder, looking down to your left hip, bringing your left hip up towards your shoulder. And then switch sides. Feeling that stretch down through the sides of your body. Really nice. Lovely. We're going to take our TheraBand now. You can either tie up, if you have a long TheraBand, you can tie a knot in it and place it around your ankles. I have a loop band, which I'm going to place now around my ankles, and keeping the ball where it is. Okay, and we're going to keep... we're going to keep the feet a little bit wide, just in line with the hips, so you can feel a little bit of, you want to feel like the band's sort of not really loose, but when you open your ankles to hip width apart, the band is sort of secure around your ankles and it's not loose, but also there's not a lot of resistance on it. Okay, we're going to tuck our toes up and under, and then we're going to take our weight from our knees onto our hands, and we're going to press the knees together. Hover the knees just off the mat. Inhale to lower. So exhale, press the knees together. Hover. Inhale to lower. You can hug baby to your spine with this one as you hover. Play about with your hands. If that gives you any problems with your wrists, you can go onto your fists. Or you can take your hands a little bit further in front. Last 2. Last 1. Really nice. Taking a little break, just sitting back on your heels. You can kind of rotate the wrist to the right for 3, 2, 1, and then the left for 3, 2, 1. Coming back to the mat. And we're going to tuck our toes under this time. We're going to press up into downward dog. Now, I'm recovering from sciatica, so my downward dog is very stiff at the minute. So you move into the position that feels good for you right now in your body. I'm going to take it really easy and keep my knees very bent. So you sit back towards your heels and then lift the hips up to your ceiling and straighten the knees as far as feels good. Let your head stay soft and dangle in between your shoulders. Now, if you're further on in pregnancy, this might not feel good with the band or the ball, so take those out. You might need to take your feet a little bit wider depending on how far on you are in pregnancy. We're just going to hold for 2 more breaths. Really nice. And then soften the knees back to the mat, and we're going to take our hands forwards. Really nice. Pressing the knees together, we're going to come into your half plank, hugging baby to spine. Inhale, release. Excuse me. Squeeze the knees together. Press forwards, bringing your nose past your hands. Hug baby to spine. Inhale, release. Press the knees together. Exhale. Into half plank. Inhale, release. So if you're pressing the floor away with your hands. And then at the end, we're going to do some gentle mini press-ups. So we're going to exhale to lower, inhale to rise. Keep pressing the knees together. Go at your own pace, your own rhythm. You might only like to do 2 of these. Lovely, last couple. And then gently come back onto all fours. You can take the ball out. You can also take the band out as you transition onto your side. See how it feels. But you're going to come onto your right side to begin. Stretch out the arm so that you're resting on the back of your shoulder. You might want to put a little cushion in here, or you can put your hand in. See what feels good for you. We're going to place the ball back in between the knees. And the band stays around the ankles. You can pop it back in now if you've taken it out and bring your left hand up onto your right hip. And we're gently going to press the knees together and take the left foot up. So this is resisted internal rotation of the hip. And this is really important for opening the pelvis to allow baby to be birthed in a vaginal birth. So knees together, press your top heel to the ceiling. And you're aiming to keep a tiny little space between your mat and your side. And how you'll do that is thinking about pressing the hips away. Imagine there's a skewer going down through your hips, keeping them gently stacked. Really nice. Taking the ball out now and placing it in front of baby and take your legs out long. And now we're going to press the ball as if it's a button. And as we press the button, we're going to take our leg up into a hip lift. So pressing the button, lift the leg. Exhale, hover. Inhale, lower. And you might need to adjust your band if it feels like it's too tight, it's too much resistance. Keeping your elbow bent down into your side, neck long, shoulders soft. We're going to go for 3 more, 2, and last one. Really nice. Bending up the knees. Taking a deep breath in And then you're going to take your soft ball in front of your chest now. Yeah, if you have a little cushion, it might be nice because you could take both arms out in front. I'm just going to keep my hand behind my head. We're going to move into your arm openings. We're going to take a breath in to prepare. And then as we exhale, we're going to take the left hand up to ceiling and back behind us, gaze into your left hand. Inhale to close. Exhale to open. Inhale to close. Feeling that stretch in your mid-spine, hips stay stacked. Lovely, last two. And last one. Lovely. From there, we're going to come into a side sit-up. So the ball is going to be pressed towards the ceiling in the left hand. And we're going to take our left ear off the floor, off the cushion or arm. And then press the left hand and ball down past our hips. And we're going to pulse 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, release. Exhale, lifting our upper body off. 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, release. 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, release. 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, release. Lovely. Lovely. Last two. And last one. Really nice. Releasing the ball. Taking your feet out of the band. And then switching sides. You're going to come on to your left side now, and we're going to repeat that on the left side. And down onto your left side now, placing your band above your ankles. And we're going to repeat the side series here. So if you have a block or a cushion, you can use that underneath your head. I'm just going to use my arm. And we're going to place the ball in between our knees and hand onto your hip. So as we exhale, we're going to press the knees together, bring the top foot up. Inhale to lower. Exhale to open. Inhale to lower. Keeping that tiny space between your waist and the mat, using your top hand to press your hip down. Really nice. And then doing two more. And then after you've done those, taking the ball out and bringing your legs out straight now. Bringing the ball in front of baby. And as you press onto the ball, now imagine it's like a button that lifts your leg up against the resistance of the band. Inhale, close, release the button, release the ball. So exhale, press down on the ball, take your top leg up. Inhale, release the ball, lower your leg. Lovely, last three, last two, last one. Really nice. Bending the knees up and taking the ball out in front now into arm openings. We're going to inhale to prepare. And as we exhale, float the arm up towards the ceiling and behind you, and then gaze back into your right hand, into the ball. Inhale to close. So you're keeping the hips stacked. And feeling that stretch in your mid-back. Elbow stays straight. Chest stays open, point it forwards. Lovely, last two. Last one. And then taking the ball and pointing it straight towards the ceiling, we're going to come into a side sit-up. So taking the head and neck off the floor, reaching the ball past the hips, we're going to pulse 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, release. Exhale, pulse 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, release. Lovely. Lovely, last two. Last one. Well done. Okay, we're going to come into standing now. So taking your loop band off, but keeping your ball and coming up into a standing position. Standing now, we're going to take the ball into the right hand. And we're going to start with our arm scissors. So we're going to take the right arm up and down. And at the same time, bringing our left hand up towards the ceiling as the right arm lowers. So this is arm scissors. So making sure your feet are connected to the mat, feeling that even weight through the big toe, the wee toe, the heel on both sides. Slight softness in your knees. I really think about reaching the arm up and stretching that arm up towards the ceiling as the opposite fingertips reach towards the mat. And switching. 2 and 1. Lovely. Taking both arms up at the top. Taking a breath in. And as you exhale, take the ball into the left hand and switch. So right fingertips stretch to the floor, left fingertips stretch to the ceiling and switch. Feeling that lovely movement come into your shoulders, coming into your spine as well as you add in a little bit of rotation. Lovely. 3, 2, and 1. Keep the left arm up to the ceiling. We're going to come into mermaid, so reaching it across and over into a C shape, and then stretching the right fingertips to ceiling. Really nice. Taking the right ear to the right shoulder. And letting your hips sway to the left. Come deeper into mermaid. Hold on for 2 more breaths, feeling that stretch through the left side. Really nice. Inhale, take the right hand onto the ball, take it down onto your chest. And then we're going to press the ball together, elbows come wide, and we're going to rotate our body to the left. And then rotate our body to the right. Lovely. Once more each side, to the left and to the right. Really nice. Taking the ball into the right hand now, into mermaid. Sweeping it across into that C curve. Sweep the hips to the right. Left fingertips towards the mat. Left ear to left shoulder. Really feeling that down through your right side, from your shoulder, down through your waist. Stretching out the sides of our bodies, the sides of our hearts. Inhale, release. Taking the hands in front of your body with the ball in your hands. And we're going to gently just roll down. Now my hamstrings are tight because of sciatica, so you're going to go down as far as you can. And then inhale, rise back up, press the ball overhead. Exhale, Lowering the ball, sliding it down your thighs, bring your chin to chest, nose to breastbone, unstacking the spine. Really nice. Inhale. Restack the spine, press the ball overhead. Really nice. Exhale to lower, pressing your hips out behind, letting your spine soften. Gently press the ball towards the floor. Inhale to rise. Lovely. Taking the ball out in front of the chest now, and we're going to push up onto our toes, and as we do, we're taking the ball up and down. Up and down. So the calves are really important for the heart, for pumping the blood back to the heart. Really nice. 3, 2, and last one. Lovely. Take your feet a little bit wider, and then just taking your left hand to your left thigh, just above the knee. Take the right hand up to seated and gaze into the ball in the right hand. Taking the ball to center, taking it into the left hand to right thigh, and press. Gazing into the left hand now, which is holding the ball. Lovely. Switch sides. And last time. Really nice. Leaving your ball down. And now I invite you to get back down onto the mat. So getting your bolster or 2 pillows. And we'll get set up for our final yin poses and then sound bowl meditation to close. Okay, so we're going to come into our final 2 poses, and these are to come back to the softness, come back to the stillness. We've kind of peaked and we've moved through the intense part of the session. So I have placed my blocks, I've put 2 blocks under a bolster so that it brings it onto a recline, and then I put a cushion on top. So take your time now, you might want to pause this to go and set up. So it might be that you put a couple of pillows horizontal and then put another couple vertical and a cushion on top, whatever you need so that you're on an incline, that you're not lying flat for this, okay? And then when you're ready, you bring your hips back to the bolster and then slowly ease yourself back. You can straighten your legs here, or you can keep them bent. I'm keeping mine bent up. I find that more comfortable. And this is a heart opener pose. So you're going to bring one hand to baby, one hand to your heart space. And then close your eyes. Gently bringing your awareness now back to your heart and back to your baby's heart. Back to all that love, all that joy. And let it infuse your entire being. Allowing your heart to expand, to open, to really let this love in and let this love out. And really feeling your breath deeply. See your baby smile.
and meet them with your smile. Connect to that play, that fun. Maybe your baby wants to high-five you. Maybe they want to play a little game. Maybe they're ready to have fun. To really connect. To really allow intimacy. Really open our hearts to each other. And taking a final few breaths here. And then very, very gently pressing your hands into the mat, coming back up to a seated position. And now you're going to take away any cushions or blocks. Just leave them behind the bolster or your 2 pillows. And then bringing your bolster flat into the center of your mat. And we're going to come down into child's pose. So, depending on how far along you are in pregnancy, move the bolster up so that it's not on top of baby bump. And then rest your elbows to the mat and bring your ear to the bolster. And come into whatever side feels good for you. And now your heart gets to rest and be supported on the bolster. And your hips are back to your heels. And the back of your heart gets a little stretch towards the ceiling. Just noticing how your body feels. Connecting to any sensations that are here now. Any emotions, any feelings. Sometimes a practice that works with the element of fire and the heart can bring up some sadness. So allow whatever has moved to really be here. And know that it's in service of you, your baby, and your connection to each other, and you access in your heart that it's okay. Your knees are nice and wide. Feeling comfortable, feeling at ease. Feeling that flow. And then taking a final 2 breaths here. And let it all go. And then gently. You can take your bolster away, or if you like, it might be nice to sit on it or sit on your pillows. And you're going to cross your legs and come into a seated position. Sorry, I'm going to come into a seated position.
Yeah, what you're going to do is lie down. So ignore that about the bolster. So we're going to close with a really lovely sound bowl meditation now. So coming onto your left side, lying down, and really allow yourself to be supported with pillows, blankets, a wheat bag on your eyes, whatever you need to feel warm and comfortable. And when you're ready, you can close your eyes. You'll hear my alchemy sound bowl now, which is connected to the womb space, connected to the heart. Allow yourself to come to rest now, to deep, deep rest. Everything you've moved through, the softness, the intensity, back to the softness. Anything that's risen in the practice between your heart, your baby's heart. And now just let that all come to a close. Allow yourself to sink into deep, deep rest. In that beautiful sacred union with your body, your breath, your baby, heart to heart. Infused with love. Let yourself sink into it now. Soak it up. Rest in it. We've come to the end of our practice now. You might wish to stay in the stillness, just to rest in the silence. But for now, offering gratitude to yourself, honouring yourself for showing up, for moving through this practice, for connecting to your heart, your baby, for coming into the present, into the moment, for coming back to the spark of joy in your heart. I'm sending you my love. Thank you.